On a quiet June night in 1977, an ordinary occurrence turned extraordinary at a gas station in Madison, Wisconsin. A routine altercation between two thugs and an unsuspecting attendant was about to take an unexpected turn. But then out of the shadows emerged a figure so iconic, so larger than life that it stopped the very heartbeat of the scene: Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll himself. Elvis, with his signature tracksuit and oversized sunglasses, looked every bit the part of a superhero descending from the heavens, not to save the world, but to assist a humble gas station worker. He took on a karate stance, a sight so bizarre it left the attackers speechless. The king's sudden appearance transformed the mundane into the miraculous. It was as if Elvis had stepped out of a Hollywood movie and into real life. This moment encapsulates Elvis Presley's unique place in American culture. To many, he was a legend, a living myth. Even in the mid-1970s, when he kept to himself more than ever, his name still sent chills down the spines of fans and strangers alike. Elvis had long ago retreated into a private world, far from the prying eyes of the public. His star power was so immense that any sighting of him was treated like a rare celestial event. Why would the king, a man who had achieved unimaginable fame, risk everything to help a stranger? It wasn't just fame, it was Elvis's deep-seated belief that his success was a gift from a higher power. He felt a responsibility to use his influence for good, to be the good guy he idolized in his youth. This sense of duty led him to carry a badge from the Federal Bureau of Narcotics and to always have firearms close by, thinking of himself as a protector against chaos. Elvis saw himself as a modern-day hero, a fortunate son who rose from poverty in Mississippi to achieve the American dream. He wanted to honor his parents and the humble life they had known. By helping others, he felt he was living up to the values his parents instilled in him, being respectable, law-abiding, and God-fearing. This was his way of giving back to a nation that had given him so much. But by 1977, Elvis was a shadow of the man he once was. The pressures of fame, combined with his struggles with drugs and depression, had taken their toll. He was paranoid, often armed, and plagued by doubts. Yet amidst this turmoil, a glimmer of his former self remained. He wanted to prove to himself and the world that he was still a force for good, a beacon of hope. That night at the gas station, Elvis saw a chance to be that hero again. He couldn't ignore the call to help, even if it meant going against the advice of his security team. For a fleeting moment, the king of rock and roll was just a man, ready to stand up for what was right. This incident, small as it was, revealed the complexity of Elvis Presley, a man of contradictions, a legend who was both larger than life and deeply human. It was a moment that reminded everyone why he had captured the hearts of millions, his ability to step beyond his fame and touch the lives of ordinary people. In that instant, Elvis Presley was not just a celebrity, he was a symbol of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest times, there's always room for a hero. After Elvis Presley's death, people learned things they did not want to believe about his life. A book written by someone who claimed to be close to him revealed secrets. This book made many people curious about what really happened to Elvis and why he died so young. While some fans did not want to accept these new ideas, others saw them as part of a bigger story about Elvis. This bigger story tells us that celebrities like Elvis often face problems because of their fame and money. People thought Elvis was a good boy from the South who made it big in music. They believed he stayed true to his values despite his success. But after his death, people started to see him differently. They thought his struggles with temptation and morality were proof that fame could ruin even the best of dreams. This idea connects to a long story in American history about how success can lead to downfall. Many see Elvis's story as typical of many celebrity tales. It's easy to fit his life into this larger story because many aspects of it seem to match common themes. People, especially his fans, see him as a tragic figure, someone brought down by flaws that represent bigger issues in America. However, this view simplifies things too much. It ignores the choices Elvis made that shaped his life. Elvis's life was not just about becoming famous and rich. His decisions, influenced by his personality, background, and the times he lived in, played a big role. He was indeed unique, but he was also shaped by his history and environment. His quick rise to fame in the 1950s was due to his ability to mix different musical styles and appeal to a wide audience. This made him a key figure in creating a new kind of American culture that was mass-oriented. Elvis's appeal wasn't straightforward. He had qualities that made different people connect with him in their own way. His curiosity and passion for music, even the music of African Americans, which was unusual for a white man in the South, made his work special. But he also struggled with depression and had trouble staying committed. These struggles could have happened to anyone, rich or poor. However, his fame and the easy explanations it provided made these personal battles more visible. Elvis's family life also shaped who he was. He grew up close to his family, which made him feel special and important. His parents, though well-intentioned, spoiled him and taught him to be respectful and religious. These values stuck with him even as he became famous. His desire for respectability helped him gain acceptance from the media and the public, transforming him from a controversial artist into a mainstream star. Even when he didn't follow these values in his personal life, the idea of being respectable remained important to him, connecting him to his roots and the sense of security his family had given him. Elvis's story is complex, shaped by his personality, family, and the world around him. While his fame and the choices he made led to his early death, it's important to see him as more than just a tragic figure. He was a man who, like many, faced challenges and made choices that reflected both his personal struggles and the larger forces of his time. To truly understand Elvis Presley, we need to look beyond the glitz and glamour of his fame and explore where he came from. His life and career were shaped by the world he grew up in, a world far removed from the bright lights of show business. Elvis was born in Tupelo, Mississippi in the 1930s. This was a time and place where life was hard but simple. His early years were spent in a small town surrounded by farms and woods. The area was rich with natural resources like black soil and forests, which made it a great place for farming. Before the Civil War, this region had few slave owners and families worked together to make a living from the land. After the war, things changed. Freed slaves moved into the area, hoping to own their own farms. New railroads connected Tupelo to other cities, bringing in entrepreneurs who wanted to use the land and resources for profit. Cotton became a major crop, but its price dropped over time. This made life tough for many farmers, who often became tenant farmers or sharecroppers. They rented land and bought goods on credit from merchants who charged high interest rates. Debt became common, and this made many people, both black and white, even poorer. New laws made it harder for black people to vote and led to more racial tension. By the early 1900s, Tupelo had grown into a small but important city. It was a crossroads with good train connections, which helped farmers and business owners sell their goods. The town grew quickly, with new mills, factories, and homes. By the 1930s, Tupelo was thriving, with shops, hotels, restaurants, and even a movie theater. It was seen as a jewel of the New South, moving from an agricultural base to an industrial one. Elvis grew up in this changing world. His family struggled financially, but they worked hard. The town's mix of old and new influenced him deeply. He was exposed to various types of music, from gospel and church to blues and country in the local culture. This diverse musical environment shaped his unique style and inclusivity as an artist. When Elvis moved to Memphis as a teenager, he found a bustling city with even more opportunities. Memphis was growing rapidly, driven by the cotton industry and new businesses. It was here that Elvis's talent began to shine, and he started his journey to becoming one of the most famous musicians of all time. However, Elvis's connection to his roots remained strong. Even as he became a pop culture icon, he never lost touch with the humble beginnings that shaped him. His music continued to reflect the diverse influences of his youth, making him stand out from other artists of his time. In later years, as the music scene changed, Elvis's attachment to his wide range of musical influences made it hard for him to keep up with new trends. While he stayed true to his art, this also meant he couldn't easily attract new fans, especially younger ones who preferred fresh sounds. This created a unique place for Elvis in the music world, one that made him beloved by loyal fans but also set him apart from the evolving music industry. To fully understand Elvis Presley, we need to look at the world he came from. His life began in a small town in Mississippi, where life was simple yet challenging. The place and time he grew up in had a big impact on who he became and how he made music. It was this unique mix of old and new, of struggle and opportunity, that made Elvis the icon we remember today.